Okay, so let's start. Today we'll be discussing about the library functions that we can use in C as well as C++. Mostly as we are using the C++ compiler, so these functions can be very easily used in any program that we make in C++. Well, let me recap what we have learned in the previous sessions. There are two types of function. One function which is defined by the programmer, that is called user-defined function, and there are many functions which are already present in the uh, compiler in the form of header files. So these headers or header files are called the library function. So as we have already used many of these, we'll be discussing some of them one by one. iostream.h, this is also a header file. We use C in C out. For using the C in C out, we already have used iostream.h, and for square root, we used cmath.h to calculate the square root of function. So this is the list of the header files that we have and some of the functions that we can use from these libraries. Similarly, there is a ctype.h, ctype header file is for character manipulation, and ctime is for time manipulation. Suppose we have to write a program in which the program will find out what is the time, and accordingly it will display a good morning or a good afternoon message based on the time of the system. So we can use ctime.h. For input and output manipulation, we have iomanip header file. For mathematical functions, we have cmath header file. There are many functions in those mathematical function. And we have a string manipulation library, C string. This C string contains many functions which can be used for string manipulation. A string is a sequence of character, like name is a string, address is a string. So suppose we want to print the string in uppercase, or print the string in lowercase, or copy one string into another string, or finding the length of the string. So there are many functions in C string.h which we will be discussing today. Similarly, there are functions in the standard input output header file. For file manipulation, like reading or writing from files, we have fstream.h, and these are the list of header files that we will be discussing, and some of the functions from some of these libraries. What is important here is that you should know what are the header files available and what type of functions will be there. Suppose we are doing some mathematical calculation, so you must know that we have a cmath.h header file or cmath header file in which we can find a lot of mathematical function. So today we'll come and see the string manipulations functions which is available for use. C++ supports a wide range of functions that manipulate non-terminated strings. Null is the character which is used to end a string. Suppose we store a name. Suppose Amir is stored in a variable of character type. Suppose we have a character type name, and in this character type name we store the value Amir. So in memory, when this value will be stored, it will contain \0 at the end. We don't have to put in the variable, but it automatically stores \0 to end the string. This is called the null character. So to manipulate strings which ends on null character, we have these functions which are commonly used. First function is copy function, a string copy. Then we have a string concatenate function. Concatenate means addition of a string. Then we have a string length function which will find the length of the string. Then we have a string comparison function which compares whether the two strings are same or not. It returns 0 if S1 and S2 have the same value. If suppose S1 is equals to Amir and S2 is equals to Amir, then it will return 0. If S1 is Amir and S2 is suppose Bushra, then it will return the difference of A and B, because Amir starts with A and Bushra starts with B. So Amir has a ASCII value of 65, A has the ASCII value of 65, and Bushra B has the ASCII value of 66. So the difference will be 1. So less than 0, if S1 is A is less than B, so it will give -1. And suppose we compare Bushra and Amir, then it will be 1. If Amir and Amir is compared, it will give 0. We'll see each of these functions one by one. Then we have strchr. It returns a pointer to the first occurrence of the character. Suppose in the string Maulana Azad College, suppose we have to find A, then it will give where A is found the first time. Similarly, we have str, which returns a pointer to the first occurrence of the string. Let us see the functions, the programs running, so that it will be more clear. I'll copy this program and directly into the C++ editor. So what I will do is I'll open the C++ developer C++ editor. Let me copy this, and then I'll explain these functions one by one. Okay, so let's start a new program. Source file. Okay, so here what we are doing is, let me first delete this, and then we have see, we have a string. Character array is called a string. The string is a sequence of characters. So we have a character array in which hello is stored, and this strlen function will find the length, means number of characters in the string. So here it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 will be the length, which will be calculated by the strlen function, and this strlen function is from the library string header file. So this is a program which finds the length of the string, means number of characters in the string. So let us first write the program. Okay. Program to find the length of a string. Before that, let us define a string. What is a string? A string is a sequence of characters. You can say more than one character is a string. Usually name, address, these are a string. To declare a string, what we do? We create a character array, str1. We also have a string class, which we will discuss later, but we usually declare an array, and in this array we can store the value. Suppose address. Address is Pratimandya Shopping. Suppose this. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So what should be the length? It should be 20, because number of characters is about 20. So in this way we create a string. A string is a character array in which we store more than one characters, and we have a string header which provides us some library functions. The first library function which we are discussing today is the string length. This string length function calculates the number of letters, the number of characters which is there in the string. So we have a string str1, it has hello stored in it, and when we print, this will print the length as 5. So let me first change the program. Program is, let us save this program. We save this with function 7.cpp. Now let us compile it. Using namespace std, need some spaces using namespace std. Okay, so we'll have to save it again. We are compiling it again. Integer length, there has to be one space. I've given the space required. There is one more. Let's program this way. It is done. Now the errors have been removed. Let me execute this program to show you the result. So I'll execute the program. The length is showing us 5. So this is how we calculate the length of a string. Now here it is showing 5 because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters in this. Suppose we change this, we copy, add str2 20, we have address, the name of the variable is address, the size is 20, we are storing Pratimalya Shopee. Now suppose we make it, I'll comment this because this is not used, and how we are finding the length, ADRESS. So the string length of the variable address. Let me save the program and let us compile it again. Integer length, semicolon is missing here. Saved. Compiled. See, it is giving 17 because there are 17 letters in Pratimalya Shopee address that we have typed. So whenever we have to find number of characters in a string, we can directly use the library function strlen. This is the function call. As we know, this is the function call. When we call this function, it goes to the function definition. We have not defined the function, it is defined in cstring.h. So we have included cstring header file, and this will calculate the length and it will print the number of characters. So this is how we can use the library functions from the string library. Now let me save as we have another program to see. Okay, now suppose we want to compare two strings. We have strcmp function to compare two strings. So let us store str1 and str2 is, then this stores hello. Okay, now we have to compare two strings res strcmp What are the two strings? str1 and str2. So we'll compare these two strings. We'll get the result and we see the result. Let me save this first and let us check whether it is working or not. I'll explain the program once again. So here we have two strings, str1 and str2, both have same value, hello. So when we compare two strings and they are equal, it returns a value 0. So here this program will print 0 when we execute. Source file not compiled, let me compile. It's done. See, the result is 0. Result 0 means the strings are same. So what we can do is result is 0, and if we can write it like this, if result equals to 0, see out strings are same or similar. Strings are similar, else we can say see out strings are. Okay, so in this case the result will be 0 and the strings are same. So let me save this program. Let me compile this once again. This is missing. Save it. Let me compile. It's done. Let me run. The result is 0. Strings are similar. Hello and hello both are similar. Now suppose I write A, B, C, D and I write P, Q, R, or I write rather B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Yes. Now let us see what is coming. I will execute the program. Result is -1. Now this -1 right is coming. I'll explain. Now result is -1. It is not 0, so strings are different. Whenever two strings are compared, the first letter is compared, A and B. If they are different, the difference of the ASCII value of A and B will be the result. So if in the first case when we ran this program, it was hello and hello, the strings was similar, so the difference of the first letter H and H will be 0. But here the ASCII value of A is 65, the ASCII value of B is 66. So A minus B, 65 minus 66 is -1. That is why it is giving the result as -1. Suppose I start this with C. So what will happen now? But there will be a difference of -2. So it will print -2. If the first string starts with C, the second string starts with A, then it will be, the difference will be 1. So let me save this program. Let me compile it again. It is done. Result is -1. Okay. So result is -1 means it is the first letter has ASCII value of A and second string is starting with C, so it is -1. Let us check if it is C and A, then it will give +1. If the first letter is greater, it gives +1. So +1 means first letter is starting with the ASCII value more, and -1 means first letter is starting with the ASCII value less. So now it will give +1. See, it is giving +1. So even it will be B, it will give +1 because the first letter has more value than the first letter of the second string. This occurs only when the strings are different. If the strings are same, then it will always be 0 because the first letter is same on in both the cases. See, if B and ABC, now these two are different. So what will happen? Let us check. Okay, done. Both the strings are different. What is happening? It is giving the string, a result is 1. The strings are still different. So if both the strings are same, then only the result will be 0. Otherwise, if the first string is starting with a ASCII value equals to or more than the first string of this, the ASCII value of the second string, then it will be plus. If the first string of, if the first character of first string has ASCII value less, it will give -1. So suppose I make it A, then it will become -1. See, it is -1. So when the strings are different, it is checked whether the first letter of first string is greater or less. If it is greater than equals to, it returns 1. If it is less, it returns -1. If the strings are different, then it returns 0. So usually what we do, we don't print the result. We have to compare two strings, it is same or not. So we check whether it is 0 or not, the strings are similar or strings are different. So now I save it, now I compile it, and now I'll run the program. Strings are different. Why? Because it is ABCD and BABC. So this is how we use the library function. So for using the library function, what we have to do, number one, we have to know what are the libraries available. Number two, we have to know in each library what are the functions available. Then we can include the library and then we can call the function. Here the function call is strcmp. So I'll stop here because we have discussed a lot of new things. What you have to do, you have to run these programs and check whether it is running or not. I'll share the program also. So I'll stop here. What you have to do is you have to first check whether you are getting the correct answer yourself or not, and then we'll move on and see some more library function from some different header files.
I recall